Can't say life is boring. No, it's not. So you think you can get a bunch of stuff done from early on, but it's always back. My children, themselves, they call them counselors. They open the bag, Mommy, this is clean. I'm like, with what, with a towel? They had a little time.
Hi.
Shabbat shalom. How are you?
I'm fine. Good to see you. Rabbi, during the announcements, could I just get up and invite everyone to the opening next Sunday?
Please do.
Thank you.
It'll be terrific. Oh, we are on. Shabbat shalom. Are you guys so coordinated and adorable?
Purely by accident, not a plan.
I've been making sure the streaming it's on.
Where would you like to sit this evening, husband?
Shabbat shalom.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
It's purely an accident. All right, I'll follow you where you want to sit. How are you?
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
It's all set up. Paula?
Yeah.
It's good. It's going.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I didn't know if you were going to be here, so I made sure to start it.
Oh, well, good. Now I know my alternate. I don't do all I know.
It'll be a
No,
nervous
this is Rabbi Bellows. This is how Hazel works. Remember?
Good to meet you. Welcome. Shabbat shalom. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
And I love the animal print as well. Shabbat shalom.
Hi, I'm Belinda.
I'm Maureen. Nice to meet you. And you're a friend of Paula?
Yeah.
And I met her last week. I'm relatively new to the synagogue. And I've been here maybe 4 weeks. So welcome. Shabbat shalom.
Thank you.
You were trying to say that.
David wanted to see your sign.
Who's signed my copy? Oh, I thought it was Paula was in charge of signing. So No. I was. This is the first time I've seen this sign about you may be broadcast, and if you walk past the sign, you are relinquishing all rights to your image on social media. Hi, Hazel. Nice to meet you. No, it's not politics. It's just organizing the concerts and performance series that we do here in our town. No. We have about every 6 weeks or so.
When we join together for Shabbat, so how good it is. Oh, it's nice to be together for Shabbat. So Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Good Shabbos. We're going to add even more of that sweetness and that light and warmth by turning to the lighting and blessing of our Shabbat candles. We're going to be on page 120 in our Sidurim, and I am honored to invite up Johanna Schaefer to light the candles for us. We have a choice of light implements. Wow. Me? Yeah. I think we'll go with this. I know that.
Adonai,
Now that we have these beautiful candle lights, the light that carries us into our day of rest, our day of renewal, rejuvenation, let's take a nice deep Shabbat breath in and out. Giving yourself permission to let go of anything you brought in with you that you didn't want to bring in with you. Just let it go. The earth can handle it. And instead, you're left with a sense of peace, that sense of shalom. Peace. One more nice deep breath. And now, in this state of calm and peace and joy and love, we turn to welcome in the Shabbat bride. And what an incredible thing to see Shabbat as a bride, and then we as the people of Israel are the groom. And so, just like how we stand up at weddings, that's why we stand up for Boi Chala, that verse of the Chaladi. Take a look at it with me really quickly. Page 138. Beloved, come, Dodi. The month of Elul is coming up soon. Does anybody know, and I'll tell you this again during Elul, but there's a fun acronym associated with the letters in the month of Elul. So Elul is Aleph Lamed Vav Lamed, Elul. Okay? And there's a beautiful midrash on it that stands for Ani, Lidodi, Vidodi, Li. And let's ask our brides, what does that mean? What's the translation of that?
I am my beloved is mine.
Yes, Ani, Lidodi, Vidodi, Li. I am my beloved is mine. And so as we get closer to the High Holy Days, which are soon, we have this idea of love, of reconnecting with God. And there's also, and I'm going to talk a bit about this a little bit more, today is a Jewish holiday, or was up until sundown. What was it? Tu B'Av. It was Tu B'Av. We had Tisha B'Av over the weekend, the 9th of Av, which is a day of mourning. Tu B'Av is a day of love. It's Jewish Valentine's Day. So I'll talk more about that later, but Avadi takes on a whole different layer of being God's beloved, of loving Shabbat, and loving the gift that we're given every single week for renewal. So, Shabbat, Do.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
How are you doing? Can I have a hug? Just a little? Good.
How are you, Sarah?
Every day, one day at a time.
Right, that's all we can do.
That's what we do.
Right.
Good job.
And so it's good to see you guys back. It's been too long.
Well, we're going to stay standing. We're going to thank Cantor Belinda for turning the air a little lower. And we're on page 144 for the fancy pattern. Amen. Page 149 at the top. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season fly. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven stands to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Ara'im. 50, we had ahavat olam. Ahavat olam, and of course the key word there is ahava, which is love. It's also a wonderful line of Tennessee products. Okay, so ahavat olam, the love that God gives us is everlasting. It goes on forever. Okay, so how does God show us love here? By giving us the Torah. Okay, that's what this prayer is all about. Then you get to the Shema and the V'ahavta. So ahavat olam is about God showing us love. V'ahavta is us then returning that love. And how do we do it? Well, the V'ahavta tells us a bunch of ways we can do it. By loving God with all of our heart, with all of our mind, our soul, our might, right? And what's really incredible here, so remember it's Tu B'Av, it's our love holiday that was today. Where does this text come from? Shema and V'ahavta. Yes. No, a good guess. Good guess.
This week.
Deuteronomy, yes.
This week.
Thank you, Mr. Tillis. This week's Torah portion, ladies and gentlemen. So we're in a Torah portion called Ve'et Chanan, and this Torah portion contains these very words. This is where they come from, the Shema and the V'ahavta. If you look, what I love about the Mishkan Tefillah is it has citations for a number of the prayers and the texts. So on 152 at the bottom you see Deuteronomy 6:4. And then you turn the page, and on 154, V'ahavta, Deuteronomy 6:5-9. That's this week's portion. And so how beautiful to also recognize the love contained in this week's parasha. So now another way that we appreciate what God has given us is by recalling the Exodus from Egypt, page 158. They come up. Join with me on the top of 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukkot shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We continue silently through page 180. You may pray in English or in Hebrew. You can include your own prayers and be seated when you are done. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbos. And welcome again. And for those of you who are longtime members of CBSRZ family, thanks for coming tonight. Shabbat Shalom and welcome home as always. For those of you who are maybe visiting or checking us out, we're glad you're here too. And you're part of our family as well. And Shabbat Shalom to all of our viewers at home. fell asleep, so. It's so nice to be together each Shabbat and to join in this incredible thing we do together. I mean, how beautiful to have a holiday every single week. To have a reason to join together as community. And also to make space in our lives, especially in our crazy, busy 21st century lives, to take the space for spirituality, for connection, for a little hint of the divine. Shabbat is such a gift. And it's also that chance to be together, to support each other, to cheer each other on, and also to offer strength when people need it. And we know there are people in our families and in our lives who need that extra love and comfort and support, our prayers of healing. So we are sending prayers for refuah shalema, a complete and speedy recovery, to Regan Konecki, Harvey Redak, Peggy Tunick, John DiNicola, Nancy Schwam, Sam Rosenblum, Stuart Walker, Miriam Swidler, Esther Sparkman, Hugh Stofko, David Clark, Joel Pear, Ben Milstein, Jackie Michael, Colleen Brewer, Linda Sherman, Laura Hessline, Linda Whittemore, Brenda Fadel Bach Rose, Beth Gottlieb, and Lily Kleinberg. Who else are you praying for tonight and would like to share his everything out loud? Right? All patience and sorrow.
Peggy Hall.
Bellows. Mishaber Labutenu Abraham Yitzhak Yaakov Ve'imotenu Sarah Rivka Leah Rachel V'yivarech V'yarpeh Kol Achuyim. May the one who blessed all of our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, bless and heal all those who are ill. We pray, O God, that they soon return to us with that complete healing of mind and body and of spirit. Baruch atah Adonai Rofech Olim. We praise you, O God, who cares for the sick. And let us say together, Amen. Let's turn to page 371 and sing together. recovered from illness, from surgery, from injury, who have escaped danger in some way, who have returned from a long trip. And those are indeed miracles. They're incredible things, and we're so grateful when we experience them. And so, God, we praise you who makes good things happen in the world around us. And let us say together, Amen.
Amen.
And we have simchas, smachot. We have happy things to celebrate together as well. So anyone want to share a significant birthday, anniversary, accomplishment,
to Los Angeles and did the Lubiture Recovery Program with my friend Richard Bonner. And he came back, and he started social work school at UConn in Wayne.
Congrats. Mazel tov to him. Wonderful. Yes, Linda.
I have two.
Great.
Okay.
Okay.
First one, if you all hear me during, I always say Misha Barak for my dog Spaz. And he turns 15 this week.
Wow.
So yes, that's quite the blessing.
So extra blessings for him on Sunday.
Extra blessings. A little bit of a plug, just a little one, but a plug. And a special thanks for my friend over here who renovated his basement so I would have a place to live when I got thrown out of my apartment. And it is the grotto, and it is delightful. So that's my mitzvah.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Mazel tov.
Oh.
My sister visited.
That's wonderful. Nothing like sisters. That's great. We're happy to have you.
So much like it. Wow.
The swallows have returned. And if you have not gotten your tickets for the River Quest, I think you should go online quickly and see if it's a thing that I do every year.
As a newbie, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you all about it.
Right.
Yeah.
The swallows.
Yeah, the swallows come to a place in the Connecticut River, and they don't live there, they just sleep there for the night before they go off to the south. And it's really spectacular because thousands and thousands of them come, and they swirl around and go down and up, and it's an experience. Yeah, the sky gets dark. But near my house, because I live near the water, they're around.
Wow.
So I've seen them for the last couple of weeks, and it's so exciting to know why they're around and where they're going.
Wonderful. Dave.
I'm going to brag Barbara's bragging, unless she tells me not to.
Go ahead.
Eric and the Durham Boy Scouts completed their 4-day traverse of the southern presidential range. They came out on the top of Mount Washington earlier today.
Yes, I got a phone call at 11 a.m. from the summit of Mount Washington. Wow.
Which is how tall?
Wow. Incredible.
So they're on their way home now.
What's
So
that?
many blessings to say
If
about
you've never
that.
been there, it's totally unlike anything in Connecticut. It's kind of like walking on the moon.
Wow. Yes. And
So,
finally.
by the new club on Connecticut River in Middletown, there is a blue heron for babies, and she's been teaching them to fly, to do sort of touch and go landing. And this week, on Friday, they all launched off. She went halfway down the river with them and then turned. She came back and they went south. And as I was sitting there crying,
We need to sing Sunrise, Sunset.
but the policeman who comes and kind of patrols down there, he and I are standing on the dock, tears were coming out of his face. It was wonderful.
Beautiful. It's impossible not to be engaged in the beautiful natural world around us here. It's such a treat. So terrific. Thank you for sharing something. Thank you for allowing us to share your moments of joy. So I've been kind of giving you teasers so far throughout the service in terms of what I wanted to talk about tonight. So I mentioned that we're in Parashat V'Vet Chanan, correct? That has the Shema and the V'ahavta in it. Also, one other very popular text is in this week's Torah portion, which is the Ten Commandments are reiterated as well. They're of course in Exodus, but then they're repeated here, but slightly differently. That's a whole other story for another time. Then I also mentioned that today, though it ended at sundown, was Tu B'Av, the 15th day of Av, our Jewish Valentine's Day, a holiday of love and partnership and peace. And then there's a third interesting thing going on this Shabbat, and that is that this Shabbat has a special name. It's called Shabbat Nachnu. Shabbat Nachnu. And not every Shabbat has a special name. There are just some throughout the year that have different designations, and this one is Shabbat Nachnu. The name comes from the very first word in the Haftarah portion. Nachnu, Nachnu Ami. Comfort, comfort, or consolation, consolation, all my people. And it's the first Shabbat following the holiday Tisha B'Av, which we marked on Sunday. And after that holiday of mourning, we start needing comfort. So when we take these three things together, they teach us some really important things about being Jewish and about what it means to be a part of this, the Jewish community. So Shabbat Nachamu, it comes from the 40th chapter of Isaiah. And as I said, the text begins with these words, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami. Usually, the Haftarah portion on Shabbat pertains to a theme that's in the weekly Torah portion. And usually it's very clear how to link the Torah portion with the chosen Haftarah portion, which is taken from elsewhere in the Bible. But when a given Shabbat has a different character about it, like on a festival or the first day of the new month, the Haftarah reading instead reflects what's going on with that holiday or that time of year. And so a few weeks ago, for the past few weeks, we had 3 Shabbatot between the 17th of the Hebrew month of Tammuz and then Tisha B'Av that were Haftarot of admonition, of rebuke, okay, leading up to the 9th of Av. Then for Shabbat Nachamu and on, this is the first of 7 consolations. We looked at this a little bit in Scrollers last week. These Haftarot of consolation, of comfort. So why 7? Why are there 7? Well, 7 on its own is already a special number, a holy number, right? Of course, the days of the week and creation, there's a sense of wholeness about 7. But it also happens to count down the number of weeks now between Tisha B'Av and Rosh Hashanah. Okay? So now we're in this time period, this momentum towards the new year, towards Rosh Hashanah. And therefore there's this sense of building renewal, of building return towards ourselves, towards God, and to this new year. All 7 of these Haftarot are taken from the book of Isaiah. And they record the prophetic message of consolation which Isaiah offered to Israel. Now, here's an interesting bit of trivia. There are 144 verses altogether in these 7 Haftarot, 144, okay? And in the Haftarot of rebuke, of admonition, there are a total of 143. So the rabbis were very careful to point out that there's always more consolation than there is admonition. So console, console, or comfort, comfort my people, nachamu. It's interesting that the word nachamu is repeated. Usually when something is repeated, it means that it's being emphasized. But the rabbis had other fun ways of talking about this idea of nachamu, nachamu. They said perhaps let those above and those below console people. Let the living and let the dead console her. Console the people of Israel in this world and in the world to come. But perhaps there is this sense that we need extra comfort, extra consolation. Nachum, nachum, comfort, comfort my people. We get this extra dose of reassurance of God's love, of God's ability to comfort us and take care of us. After remembering the degradation and the suffering experienced by the Jewish people throughout our history, that we, of course, then focused on for Tisha B'Av, we now find comfort and consolation. But of course, it's interesting, we don't want the comfort of the prophets. We want the comfort to come from God. So why did God comfort us through a prophet, through a messenger? Maybe because we all have the ability to indeed comfort each other. We all can be messengers of God. So yes, the prophets were selected specially, but we all have that ability. And we might get scared of that sometimes, or shy, or hesitant, but we do all indeed have the ability to offer this kind of comfort to each other. Yet all is not pain and suffering, thank God. We know that many holidays are indeed joyous. So from Tisha B'Av we come to this holiday filled with love and hope. Tu B'Av. In mystic terms, this full moon of Av, you might have seen it last night, it was really magnificent. This full moon is associated with relationships. The Talmud tells us that on this day, the daughters of Jerusalem would go out and dance in the vineyards, and that whoever did not have a wife would go there to find himself a bride. By the way, as an aside, I did once perform a wedding in a vineyard on Tu B'Av. It was the most magnificent. And so it pretty much is like a Jewish Valentine's Day. But why associate this day with finding a soulmate? Judaism teaches, and so does every Jewish grandmother, that every person has a b'sher. Where's your b'sher? Where's your soulmate? The half of their soul that they have to seek in order to feel complete. And there's a lovely belief that 40 days after a person is born, there's a heavenly voice who announces his or her b'sheret. And so the 15th of Av is 40 days before the 25th of Elul, which is considered the first day of creation, leading up to the birthday of the world. So the full moon of Av counts down that 40 days and celebrates relationships. And of course, we have all kinds of soulmates in our lives. We have friends who we knew we were meant to meet. We have teachers and mentors we were meant to learn from. And then, of course, many of us have our loves. So just as the moon needs the sun to shine and feel complete, we seek completion within ourselves in so many ways, within our relationships and ultimately within our relationship with God. The love we feel for one another is said to teach us how to love God. Martin Buber, one of my favorite Jewish philosophers, takes this one step further and says that in every loving relationship, in every loving friendship, there is a silent third partner, God. Thus, 1 + 1 equals 3. Which brings us to the Shema and V'ahavta in this week's portion. So we had Ahavah, this word for love. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Tu B'Av encourages us to love one another, while the Torah portion tells us how to love God. There's a Hasidic midrash that says that 3 times the Torah asks us to love. Twice in Leviticus we're commanded to love each other, fellow human beings. And then here in Deuteronomy, we are directing our love toward God. So only after we learn to love people can we learn to love God. Interesting. So here we are in this movement now towards Rosh Hashanah, towards the new year. Some of us might find comfort and consolation in the words of the Haftarah. Some of us might find it in the Shema or in the V'ahavta. Some of us might even find it being here in relationship with each other. There's a sense of peacefulness in it all. And ultimately, these 3 events that we have here tonight, Shabbat Nachamu and Tu B'Av and Shema V'ahavta, join together to just create this wonderful package of joy and sweetness. So this Shabbat, may we all be surrounded by love, by consolation and comfort. Whenever we find ourselves in need or wherever we find ourselves tonight, may we seek out hints of God's presence in our most precious relationships. And may we find ourselves bringing our hearts and souls and strength to all of our encounters, eventually hoping to find ourselves with the ability to truly love ourselves, our fellow human beings, and the Eternal One, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Can you hear us? May I speak God's word? Amen.
Yes, sir.
Sunday, Belinda already talked to us about this, but there's going to be the blessing of the animals here at 3 o'clock, sponsored by Esther. Do you want to say anything else about that?
Come and bring your best friends.
I hope it'll do two things for my hunt.
If there is, for any chance it's raining, it will be a rain date. It will not be moved indoors.
Right.
Just saying. Okay.
My hunt needs a bracha.
So I guess we'll make an announcement. If it's raining, we'll make an announcement on the website or something. Yeah. On Monday 29, there's desserts at 7:30, hosted by Nancy Fishback and Martin Wollman. The last meeting week for the Rabbi and her family. And on Wednesday, August 24th at 1 o'clock, there's an Alice workshop in Belinda. Well, it's not with me, okay? Who it's with is Claire Bellows, who is from the Soup Kitchen, and she is going to teach us how to utilize Alice and talk about her in our community and spread the word about who Alice is. Alice is basically the working poor. She stands for Asset Limited Income Constrained Employed. And she's one of us. She lives here. She's part of our community, and we all need to help to make sure that she stays here, because we need her help. Thank you. Thank you. On Friday, August 26th, at 7:30 is Erev Shabbat service. On Sunday, August 28th, Belinda's going to talk about that.
On Sunday, August 28th, we're having a wonderful art opening in the gallery space. A sculptor, Phil Levine, from Stratford, Connecticut, will be speaking at 4:30. The opening begins at 3 in the afternoon and ends at 5. The artist, Phil Levine, will speak at 4:30. There will be wine, there will be appetizers, there will be wonderful music, and it will be just a very happy afternoon. I hope you'll all come, bring friends, bring family, and tell everyone about it.
And on 3 Wednesdays in September, the 7th, 14th, and 21st, from 7 to 9 p.m., we're going to be having an Islam series here. The history, practices, and beliefs. We're having an imam come. Yes. And it's sponsored by the Adult Ed Committee. It's the first Wednesdays in September, 7, 14, and 21, in the evening. Yeah.
So Columbus House has gotten secured funding for 77 apartments for people with disabilities, veterans, low-income people. It will be on Mather Street in New Haven, next to the Dixwell Avenue Congregational Church, which will be the sponsoring institution. If you know anyone who needs housing, and it's income-based, sliding scale, particularly veterans and families with children, to contact Columbus House.
And thank you to John Shaker for sponsoring the event this week.
Let's turn together now to our concluding prayers, beginning with Alenu on 586. All who are able, please rise.
Bellows
Page 595. It is hard to sing of oneness when the world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone, and naught but memory can fill the emptiness their passing leaves behind. But memory can tell us only what we were, in company with those we loved. It cannot help us find what each of us alone must now become. Yet no one is really alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and words, and what they did is part of what we have become. We do best homage to our dead when we live our lives more fully, even in the shadow of our loss. For each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world. In each one is the breath of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one whose life now ended brought us closer to the source of life, in whose unity no one is alone, and every life finds purpose. Page 598. This Shabbat, we're marking the recent passing of Ron Gister, Bob Goldberg, Hudis Freeman, and Ted Budkowski. We're also marking the Yortzites, the anniversaries of death for Rabbi Henry Bernstein, Anna Blumenthal, Elaine Bruno, Bertha Elkin, Rose Feingold, Anna Feld, Isidore Feld, Hinda Ginsburg, Dr. Sumner Gottberg, Harry Goldstein, Aaron Greenberg, Jack Albert Kabatsnik, Irving Collette, Edna Clark, Fanny Lerner, Nellie LeWitt, Stephanie Reuter, Leon Saltzman, Samuel Schaefer, Marion Sprecher, Florence Storch, Helen Katz-Swissman, George Ellis Ulrich, Baronet Zavodnik, and Louis Zelvin. Zichronam Livracha. Who else are you remembering this week and would like to share a name aloud?
Alan Griffin. Someone say that. Dylan Hanson. Scott Folkenfeld.
And all of their memories always be for a blessing. Together now, if it is your custom, I invite you to rise and we join the words of the Mourner's Parish. Yit Gadal V'Yit Kadash Shnei Rabah V'Yalmad Yirach Yirutei V'Yavliv Malchutei L'Chayei Hon V'Yomei Hon L'Chayei T'chol Beit Yisrael V'Adalah V'Zman Hariv V'Imru Amen Yehei Shnei Rabah V'Rach Le'olam Olamei Amaya Yitbarach V'Yishtabach V'Yitbar V'Yitolam V'Yinaseh V'Yitadar V'Yitaleh V'Yitalal Shnei T'Kudishah B'Richu La'elam Yikol Birchata V'Shirata Tushkata V'Nechemata Da'amiram Yalma V'Imru Amen Yehei Shlama Rabba V'Yishmaya V'Chaim Aleinu V'Yal Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen Oseh Shalom Imamav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'Yal Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen.
Yit
indeed how good it is to be together as brothers and sisters tonight. We're going to end as we began. Hine Matov, Umanayim, Shabbat
Do you know how to turn this off? I don't think Paul turned it off.
Take a spray can.